happened when Brian Johnson came to India on the WTF podcast. Oh God, I'm always confused between the brothers' name. I don't interesting. Not surprised at all. But guys, this might be an unpopular opinion. They were talking about longevity and all of that, and I feel like maybe it has to do with my upbringing because Z dissects a lot about upbringing. But every time, oh my God, I'll get killed for saying this by my brother. But every time there is like too much learning and too much knowledge about health and wellness, or just maybe it's things in general. When I Google it, I get a lot of stress and anxiety, which in turn is bad for your health, right? Treadmill. That I just felt that running is not needed only, you know. In total, I'd already lost like pehle almost 30 kgs with dobara 20 kgs. So from an operator's point of view, the struggles I had, I want to work with founders who are feeling low, who are feeling this downfall in their life and in their lives, and kind of uplift them. Family friendship, and we used to do aerobics. And we thought dust pollution को battle करोगे जल्दी उठ के कि pollution कम हो तो dust will get you. I was at that time the motivation, the confidence, and cash. So here's honestly Jeeves support.
So it's too much knowledge bad? I don't know, because these guys were like going at it and talking about microbiomes and yes, I do know what that is, and metabolism and metabolitics, like the newer terms. And I was like, damn it, I don't know about what this is, so let's Google it. And the more I was reading it, by the end of the day, I was freaking stressed. I was like, oh my God, I'm not doing anything with my life. My health is crap. Do you feel that? Do you feel sometimes too much knowledge can cause stress? Like, end of the day, I wasn't positive at all. And this is crazy because today I'm going to talk about my health and wellness journey and how I have sort of struggled and continuously trying to get out of the struggles. But is that common? Like when sometimes you have too much knowledge, you end up impacting your health because you become more stressed? Or am I just like, I don't know, dumb? And knowledge is good. Knowledge is what everyone seeks, right?
Entrepreneur, marketer, I've been on reality TV shows, I build brands, and I'm just getting started. Welcome to my channel. I'm Jeevika Tyagi. Still can't get over the fact that I'm on YouTube doing this so candidly. Today's topic is so dear to my heart, and it is something that is buzzing everywhere for, I would say, for the past decade. And now, within the last 2 years, the word wellness has taken over completely. Of course, you saw what you heard and saw what happened when Brian Johnson came to India on the WTF podcast. Oh God, I'm always confused between the brothers' name. I don't know. Like I call this one. I don't know. I just don't know like who's Nikhil and who's Nitin, and then I confuse them. But yeah, that was interesting. Not surprised at all. But guys, this might be an unpopular opinion. They were talking about longevity and all of that, and I feel like maybe it has to do with my upbringing because Z dissects a lot about upbringing. But every time, oh my God, I'll get killed for saying this by my brother. But every time there is like too much learning and too much knowledge about health and wellness, or just maybe it's things in general. When I Google it, I get a lot of stress and anxiety, which in turn is bad for your health, right? So is it's too much knowledge bad? I don't know, because these guys were like going at it and talking about microbiomes and yes, I do know what that is, and metabolism and metabolitics, like the newer terms. And I was like, damn it, I don't know about what this is, so let's Google it. And the more I was reading it, by the end of the day, I was freaking stressed. I was like, oh my God, I'm not doing anything with my life. My health is crap. Do you feel that? Do you feel sometimes too much knowledge can cause stress. Like, end of the day, I wasn't positive at all. And this is crazy because today I'm going to talk about my health and wellness journey, and how um, I have sort of struggled and continuously trying to get out of the struggles. But is that common? Like, when sometimes you have too much knowledge, you end up impacting your health because you become more stressed? Or am I just like, I don't know, dumb? And knowledge is good. Knowledge is what everyone seeks, right? I don't know. Tell me about this in the comments. But coming back to the topic today, it's of course, honestly, Jeeves has been launched. There's so much launching, people can't keep up. They're like, what is this? What is Honestly Studios? What is Honestly Jeeves? And what was the Honestly hashtag? So yeah, it's been my biggest dream, I would say. Of course, while raising for Asti, and I've had a startup before that where I was raising. I've spoken to some 200 VCs, and I always felt there is a gap. There is a gap to understand entrepreneurs. There's a gap to understand founders and their needs. And a lot of times you get a lot of advice, but you cannot identify that all the founder needs is cash. And I think that's where I'm trying to get with Honestly Jeeves. I want to do more. I want to understand how, from an operator's point of view, the struggles I had. I want to work with founders who are feeling low, who are feeling this downfall in their life and in their lives, and kind of uplift them. And if some way I can add resources, help them raise funding, help them do marketing with my Honestly Studios, just through sweat equity, because I know their problem is that they don't have cash. So if I can do that, I've been doing it organically for the past 1 year, where I meet all these founders at Bougie. I always meet people at Bougie. Oh my god. Uh, I'm over it, by the way. I don't like Bougie anymore. I've tried everything multiple times, and I think there has to be a newer space now. Please, guys, like, if you own a cafe or if you're looking to launch, it's time, because people like me are over the buzz, and or they need some new menu. Anyways, great place to have meetings because laptops not allowed, so you can actually have conversations. And I've been meeting all of them. I'm the only one eating in the meetings. Just realized maybe they're too shy. I was too shy back in the day, and I'd go for meetings. If I'm hungry, man, I'd be famished. I would be starving. And somebody would ask me, are you getting something? I'm like, nope, nothing at all. Just gonna see if you're gonna give me some money for my business. So yeah. So I understand. um what was I saying? Coming back to the topic, so I met all these founders for the past 1 year, when I was also trying to uplift Asti, and we've done that successfully through the content that has been created on the Instagram. But I could understand, I could have complete empathy, and think sometimes things need to happen to you to gain empathy, which is literally the opposite meaning of empathy. But I could totally understand and relate to them. And I somehow felt in all conversations they were trying to, get that one thing out of me, that whether it's a connect or whether it's, hey, how did you market your business? It looks fabulous. But I always felt what they truly lacked was, at that time, the motivation, the confidence, and cash. So here's Honestly Jeeves supporting such businesses, but I'm truly doing what I'm passionate about, because I've identified the industries that I know the best and I care about. So whether it's wellness, health, mind and body, and of course women, yeah, come on, less than 2% of women get funded. How can I skip that? So I've just categorized them like this. And yeah, you could be building wellness.ai, which is already built, so don't build that, but sub products. And I'd be interested in having a conversation. Coming back to my health and wellness journey, Brian, bro, you've given me so much anxiety. Or Nitin, I don't know, why do you guys talk so detailed, and then I deep dive into topics, and I'm stressed and my health is suffering because of it, because of that podcast. uh, but where should I start on my health and wellness journey? There's a lot on my Instagram about my health and wellness. If you read the captions and the pictures, so over the years, I've been very, very open to sharing how my health and wellness journey is going on. You can also see my transition while going for talks for Aste, from being a new mom and being freaking 90 kgs. I'm giving talks at 90 kgs, and then coming down to my old self. Let's do some body stats first. I let's just get it out of the way. A lot of question I get from my girlfriends, luckily not strangers, maybe they don't feel that's the right question, but they always ask about weight, waist size. I don't think any of that is important anymore. If you asked me this 5 years back, I would say it's the most important thing. Yes, it's important to, yes, it's easy to keep a check on your health and wellness if you're just doing a simple thing like weight measure and waist measure. But in the long run, I don't think it is that important, because it really depends on what kind of body type are you born with. And I know I've read a lot, I've heard a lot that you can um change your body type, the way your things are formed. In fact, my husband does it for a living. He goes into like these crazy things of health and fitness where he keeps changing the way his body is shaped, while it not be naturally like that. So I understand uh, the parts of it, but I can only speak from my perspective and my learnings. And there have been plenty. Of course, running a size inclusive brand, I understood sizing a lot. I understood, since I have been multiple waist size, I understand that finding the right clothes at whatever size is very, very tough. So we solved for that at Aste, building this, size inclusive, sustainable athleisure brand. But going back to, oh my God, I'm sounding like that podcast, which I don't want to. Why? Okay, we'll have to dissect my childhood in terms of health and fitness as well. And I can't leave the country. I will be here. मेरे ऊपर झाड़ू लगा रहे हैं लोग जब मैं सुबह फ्रेश एयर लेने जाती हूँ. ब्रायन तो चला गया, मैं क्या करूँ यार. मतलब ये तो अब मैं यहाँ रहती हूँ बॉम्बे में, जहाँ अपेरेंटली दिल्ली और बैंगलोर से बेटर चल रहा है. जब यहाँ इतना बुरा हाल है, टॉप प्लेसेस लाइक बैंड्रा एंड कार्टर रोड, तो मैं क्या ही बोलूँ. um, मतलब सुबह जाओगे आप 7 बजे फ्रेश एयर लेने या रन के लिए, जो भी, भाई मुंह पे झाड़ू लग रही है सीधा. कुछ कर नहीं सकते. डस्ट पोल्यूशन को बैटल करोगे जल्दी उठ के कि पोल्यूशन कम हो, तो डस्ट विल गेट यू. I continuously have a bad throat. What is that? That's, yes, growing up I had tonsillitis, I still do, but I always get a bad throat because I'm outdoors a lot. I'm trying to get the sun, trying to keep up with my health, and yeah, it's just pollutants. Yeah, it's always here. How much can you fix? That's why I get anxiety when I read too much, because I'm like, oh my god, I haven't fixed this, and this can be fixed, and that can be fixed, and I'm a failure. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna make another video on failures and downfalls in my health journey. But today we're gonna talk about the positives, and how my health and wellness routine has come about, and also things that I'm passionate about in health and wellness. So we can talk about what's happening in terms of investments. So where should we start? Born a heavy child. Literally, I was the heaviest in the hospital. So they had a picture saying, "Congratulations, we've had a heaviest baby." This is not a made-up story. You can actually check with my mom. She's also made her Instagram debut, where she doesn't know how to use it or post. She's going to be 70 यार. मतलब क्या you do? उनको फर्क पड़ता है. I'm sure she's made it to stalk me. We all know that. So yes, I was born the heaviest. I was 5.5 kgs, I think, when I was born. And oh God, hats off to my mother for having me. And of course, my parents, being in the food business, did not help. So very, very heavy child as compared to other kids. I won't say I was obese, but I was definitely heavy to the extent that I had a typical, you know, childhood conversations with my dad, who's very desi. So he said, "शादी नहीं होगा और इतना खाओगे तो." I'm sure सबके पापा ने बोला है, ओके, ठीक है. It's the desi way to say it, कि शादी नहीं होगा तुम्हारा, तुम कब खाओ. It's called body shaming, but I'm just telling you the truth. Honestly, I'm sure every fat kid who was in the 90s fat, their parents have said it in one way or the other. Maybe a nicer way to say it, that you must work out with your mother and stuff like that. But yeah, he said शादी नहीं होगा तुम इतना खा रहे हो. And still I went on eating, doing whatever. I still remember my way to combat um, long nighters for studying was to eat a whole. So in 10th grade, I think, as in 10th when Domino's was launched in India, I was there probably the best customer because I would study for, or maybe I was in ninth grade, and in 10th grade, I literally had the excuse to have the whole pizza where I would say, yeah, I'm gonna pull an all nighter, so I need Domino's. And my parents sort of equated um, rewards with gifts and food. I would do the same, knowing that a toddler really, like, it's very hard to take care of. I'm gonna do a video on that. Anyways, deviating from the point, this Montessori teaching and all sometimes gets too much. Okay. Uh, yeah. So they would just reward me with food and gifts, saying marks अच्छे आए तो आपको ये मिलेगा, और आप अगर you know if you perform well, you'll get this. And to perform, if you want any food, you can just get it. So I would just have a whole pizza by myself every single night before boards. Yes, I scored really well, but guess what, my health was at its worst. I was just, I think I was 15 and a half-year old who was holding a weight of 80 kgs after the 10th grade board. And then luckily, I remember this friend of mine who said that, hey, there's a new gym that's open up. Okay, we as my friends and I, there's just us three girls, we would always from the 7th grade on, we would always be doing something about fitness. We thought we were very fit, okay? So we would go to these aerobic classes and stuff like that. We thought we were the cool gang because we lived close to each other. So and our school was really far, so we found this lovely friendship, and we used to do aerobics. And we thought this was like, this is what's gonna make us fit. But aerobics ke baad jaake, if you'll have like pizza and pasta, then I don't think aerobics really works. Usme mushkil se 300 calorie burn hota hoga, and you'd go and have a freaking 1500 calorie ka meal saying we just had an aerobics class. So yeah, so I was always doing something, I was always moving my body, but I just did not know that calorie in and calorie out can go a very long way in life if you just don't know anything about health and fitness. So yeah, coming back to the point, I was almost 80 kgs, and my mom uh, got me this aerobics teacher to write a diet. I think it really helped because I never followed the diet, but I sort of, understood by the 11th grade that, hey, I can think of losing weight, because earlier it was just like, let's move and I'm being fit. But weight loss was never a word. Weight loss is something I didn't even know was a word. I just knew that I want to look good. But when she got that dietitian, even though I didn't follow it for more than a week, because she would write stuff like pani puri. Okay, so I really liked her, but then I understood that what she's doing is, I got smart by then. I understood she's doing calorie in and calorie out count. And this was my aerobics teacher only. It's all jugaad. It's all jugaad. She only said, okay, I'm a nutritionist also. And my mom's like, oh, you must write for her. She's very fat. Yeah. So she wrote, and then there was a gym that had opened up. The gym culture had just come in India 2 years before that. And then this popular gym had opened up, and my friend was going. So I went, and oh Lord, was it good for me. I just started walking on the treadmill, and slowly, I remember it was like I would walk at the speed of 5 and feel I'll fall, and started slow cycling and all. But what happened is that my even though my eating habits were terrible, somehow I started enjoying the movement. So my calorie out had become a lot. So I was sometimes in the gym just like during the summer vacations, just I would say all day, and I just keep burning calories, which was very unhealthy now that I look back. But at that age, I think you can pull off a lot of things and still have a flat stomach. So age, and we're going to talk about age also. Age is a very big factor in health and wellness. And you must have heard the podcast on longevity, and they talk about skin and aging and all of that as well. So coming back to my personal journey with health and wellness, I didn't know health word existed, I didn't know wellness existed, but I definitely did understand the word calorie in, calorie out back then. And there were all these apps, um, which I'm going to tell you, which I learned about 2 years later, um, that had come up. Yes, apps had already come up. I remember 2009, I was using Lose It app in the States, and it was very big. It was very big. Like everyone would use it for calorie in, calorie out count, and how to calculate it. I definitely credit that app for making me lose more than 30 pounds. So yeah, I started working out at the gym for fun. And the first thing that happened, what they were talking about, skincare. Oh my god, my skin started glowing. You know that look that you have after a workout, after a good workout, the flushed look? When you're younger, and if you start working out when you're younger, your skin becomes next level because you already have the young skin, and then it glows just naturally. And I think that's what got me into getting fitter at that time. Not healthy, I didn't know that word existed. So getting fitter because my skin would just glow, and I would go to the gym just to get that glow because I was not into makeup, and I didn't know I can enhance my skin through makeup. So I just loved that. I would just like next day if I had school and I just wanted that glow, so I'd just go to the gym. And I do feel, even though I've been fitter and prettier now, I do feel it was my prettiest stage, because I just felt good. I just felt good about myself. um, but the grades suffered, so that's the trade-off in life anyways. I'm not the one who's advocating women can do it all. Okay, I can't do it all, bhai. Jo kar rahe kar rahe hain. So yeah, so the grades suffered because I knew I got prettier, but just because I felt fitter. Uh, yeah, so that's where the journey started. I do feel the journey started in seventh grade with aerobics because I enjoyed moving, and then the real journey started in college, where I went to the States and did put on the freshman 15 again, more like freshman 30, I think. Yeah, as again up to like 72 kgs when I came for my first summer vacation, and my parents were just like हमें खुश होने दो, थोड़े दिन के लिए तो खुश होने दो, तुम मुश्किल से फिट हुए थे, एक मतलब एक साल के लिए तुम पूरा फिट नहीं रहे और वापस मोटे होके आ गए. So they were really upset. Okay, and guess what? The trade-off, I'm getting straight A's in college. Okay, but they were really upset. When I came back in the winter vacation, they saw me and they're like, "Oh Lord, in 3 months, how did you put back on all the weight?" So they were really upset. And luckily, at that time, Facebook had come and everyone was putting albums on Facebook. What what put a setback for me was how I was looking in the pictures. So around, I would say, Jan of my freshman year is when I went for the first time to the college gym, and Lord, was it a universe! I had never seen such a big gym. I had been in this college for almost 4 months and I never visited the gym. It was humongous. And I was just like, such a big space. How did I not come here before? Why didn't I come here in my first sem? it was just such a huge space. I'd never seen such a big gym before, obviously. And no, we didn't do any college visits like how people do. It was a very last minute admission, etc. I'd never seen something so big, yeah. And that's what really got me onto this. Um, that is my past, I would say, 18 years. Just how big that gym was, how wonderful it was, and what excited me about coming to the gym. And then I would say how outdoors happened was I started gymming, not didn't lift a single weight, had no idea yaar kya hota hai weightlifting, but very big on cardio. I went from, I would say, um 75 kgs to 52 kgs, like a size zero, for a long time, which would be very unhealthy now, but I would say then, because I was very young, it wasn't unhealthy. I just looked very unhealthy because I was super skinny. And uh, and and I think that's, every fitness journey has stages where you first try to get fit, and then you get into health, and then you get into wellness. Of course, the idea is with the coming generation, this is flipping for good, and it should be like that for us also, where wellness should come first, then your health, because it's correlated, and then eventually you get fit because you're healthy. But it was उल्टा. तो वहां से जर्नी स्टार्ट हुई. हाँ, याद आ गया मुझे, मैंने फिर से इंग्लिश में बात करनी शुरू कर दी है. एंड उसके बाद मैं जिमिंग करती रही, फिर कार्डियो करती थी. मुझे पता नहीं था कि तुम बाहर भी रन के लिए जा सकते हो, बट लकीली एट दैट टाइम आई वाज interning, not even interning, it was like a full-time job, because we don't have, I went to Drexel University and there's no concept of intern. There's a co-op program where you study for 6 months and you work for 6 months. So I was working at the age of 19 at JP Morgan and Chase. That was my first role. So I would take a train from Philadelphia to Delaware, where their office was. And in that journey, I met another colleague from Drexel. And I still credit that girl because her name is Nargiza, and she had two names. Was it Nargiza? Anastasia. Yeah, she had two names, so I'm trying to remember which one did she use. And she had already been part of the US Army. Okay, immigrant, been part of the US Army, so you can imagine how fit she was. And I can never forget the impact she had on me. I can never forget this because she was just too fit, and I had recently lost weight, but I wasn't. I would look at her and I'd be like, but why don't I look that fit? Why do I look so, skinny? So I I looked at Nargiza for the first time when we were all planning where to go for lunch, and Nargiza said, "I'm just gonna have an apple and get Subway." And I was like, "Oh my god, Subway? That's so boring. Like, why would you have that?" She's like, "Because it has fiber, and I'll get my carbs through the bread." Carbs? I had no idea what carbs is. Okay, I was having free lunches and dinners because it's paid for meal plan ahead of time, which is a health murder in college, by the way. Parents should stop doing that. So I had access to unlimited cookies and pizzas throughout the day for my freshman year. um, so I had no idea what carbs means, and when she said it, then one day, I think it was the very next week, I was walking down my campus and I saw her running on the road. I didn't know you can do that. This is how lost and naive I was. I thought if you want to lose weight, you go to the gym. I didn't even know you can run on the road. And of course, when you get exposed to and back in the day, the Americans were always ahead in health and fitness because they have such a high obese rate. They better be, but obesity rate. But I saw her running, and I've seen a lot of students running before, but when you see someone you know, and you can do the math why someone is so fit. So I was walking back to the campus with, I think, from the railway station, from the and I saw her already running, and we worked at the same place. So next day I asked her, how is this possible? So she told me she leaves work at a certain time, and so that she can do her run. So apparently she reaches, I don't know, 5 p.m. I don't remember the details of it, but I just remember I was coming back from work and she'd already changed and she was running down the road. And guess what I did the very next day? I was so inspired by this girl. I reached, I think, my apartment at like 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. I don't remember. This was like 18 years back. I changed into my shorts. I walked because I was so scared. I was like, how do you run on the road? Is it like the same action or is it like something else? Like it's such a big deal in my head. And it's funny to me now. Obviously यार मतलब ये आदमी ये इंसान हिला नहीं है इतने दिनों से सालों से, उसको कुछ पता नहीं है। वो जिम जाके इतना खुश है कि जिम में ट्रेडमिल है और मैं उस पर वॉक कर सकती हूँ। रनिंग तो भूल ही जाओ भाई। I already had the confidence, right? Because I had lost so much weight just by walking and jogging on the treadmill, that I just felt that running is not needed only, you know. In total I'd already lost like pehle almost 30 kgs, फिर दोबारा 20 kgs, so I'd already lost 50 kgs of weight just by walking on the treadmill and jogging in this calorie in calorie out, that I was just like, bro, I don't need to run and fall. I just equated running with falling, and that too on the road. But guess what? I remember I changed into my shorts. I went down the stream. I don't remember what it was called. Maybe it was called the Riverfront or whatever in Philly. That whole road, and where people, runners go, and cyclists, like it's a very happening time in the evening over there. I came down the stairs from the bridge, and Lord, it was like a marathon. I had never seen so many people working out outdoors, and it just seemed like a fun environment to me. मुझे लग रहा था मैं इसी चीज के लिए बनी हूँ। जैसे कॉलिंग हो जाता है ना तुम्हारा लाइफ में, कि यार इतने लोग हैं, भाग रहे हैं, अच्छे कपड़े पहन के भाग रहे हैं. Of course, Aste was always in cards clearly because I noticed their clothes a lot, and I just felt that I've I found something that can be my identity. Because अभी तक मेरा आइडेंटिटी था जो मेरे को पेरेंट्स ने सिखाया था कि तुम्हें पढ़ना है, तुम्हें अच्छा करना है. And for me, that was my identity. That's what I enjoyed the most. So I came down, I started walking. I desperately wanted to fit in. I wanted cool workout clothes. I wanted to run. I was too scared. I was very desperate to fit in into this fitness vibe that was happening around the riverfront. And I was like, there's so many people doing it, and it's taken me a year in this university to come here and start doing this. And as I was walking down the bridge on day one, walking down the riverfront slowly and just observing how cool this culture is, I saw her coming from the other side running. She'd completed her run, and of course we said hi and everything. And I think that's it. There was no looking back. That is it. That is all it took, is to be inspired by one fit girl and be like, oh my god, this is so cool. Why was I even eating and not looking at what is carbs and what is sugar? I still don't look at sugar up until like 10 years later is when I learned about that I need to look at my sugar consumption. But yeah, but I think that's where it began. I started slowly walking. One day I was jogging. The fear sort of went away in like less than a month, I think within a week, I was already jogging um, at that riverfront place. And by the end of the month, I was running with others. I was just at it. And I would come back and stop by at Subway to get my dinner packed and go. So yeah, it's crazy. Yes, it was a privilege, but at the same time, I skipped the privileged gym, which was right there, and ran on the road, which was completely free. I skipped the expensive restaurants and chose to eat the cheapest meal, which is the Subway. Being a vegetarian, I had my limitations. Um, yeah, so I would say health, wellness, all of this I've got into because I feel it's all controlled by the mind. And whether you have the privilege or the exposure or not, it is your mind where the privilege should lie. And I know a lot of people with a lot more privilege but are very unhealthy. So health and wellness को आप exposure से connect नहीं कर सकते. All you need is that one inspiring movement or motivation, और बस शुरू हो जाओ यार. शुरू कर लो. वॉक से शुरू करो. I think that journey is where I started, and cut to me getting pregnant after that for the I would say next 15 years, I was literally the same size. And my age was, I did all of those scans and all, and my age would always come 21 for a very long time. Now it does not. So I started making a joke that everyone who would ask my age, I would say I'm 21. Uh, but now it comes out, I think, 26 or something, which is still 10 years younger than I am. But I truly believe that you need that movement. You need that, sorry, moment where something in you changes, and it's all mental. And your journey away from health and wellness is a mental block. Anyways, coming back to uh, this fitness journey converting into health and wellness. So I would say fairly fit for a very long time. I had the same waist, like it wasn't too skinny, but I had like some 28 waist, and I'm all 5'7.5". So yeah, so it was like, and I've always been 60 kgs. So my weight just fluctuates between 58 to 60 kg. But my measurables were wrong. I would my I would measure everything by my waist size, weight. Still works for me. I can't say they were wrong. It's the easiest way to measure your health sometimes. But then when 3 years back, not three, yeah, 2.5 years, yeah, it's 3 years back. 3 years back when I found out that I was pregnant, I think all my fears that were there initially of going on a run, that I'll fall and this and that, somehow it all came back. And I personally had the most unhealthy pregnancy because I just did not move. Because I had so many mental blocks and fears and anxiety that something is going to happen to my baby, that I just did not move during my pregnancy. I gave up everything. I wouldn't cycle, I wouldn't walk. I My husband really encouraged me. One time he took me to the gym at like 6 a.m. and I said I don't have the time because I'm running this company, and I just refused to move. It was my worst mistake, but I had so many mental blocks, and I think that's when the health problems started. And don't wait for health to be a problem because of your age or your circumstances. because it gets a lot tougher. It gets a lot tougher to deal with. So my baby was completely healthy. I never puked throughout my pregnancy. Um, I could never feel her kick also, actually. Maybe because I was so busy as per the doctor, I had too much work stress. I think that's where problems like letting the stress take over the body came. Uh, Me not understanding the power of a healthy mind came into play. And after I gave birth, the very next day, I started being my most unhealthy self because I had this long coming. I didn't move for a year. I suddenly naturally pushed out the baby, and it's like every health problem I could imagine came. So I got really unhealthy. I put on even more weight. I'd become 90 kgs after giving birth, and I'd already put on some 25 kgs during my pregnancy. Then I put on another 5 kgs, and my mental health was obviously zero because of I was feeding her, so I wasn't sleeping, resting, didn't have a mind. It's crazy. It's crazy. Postpartum depression is just crazy because while you know that term exists in today's day and age, but you would always think that, oh, you can't go through it. Why would you? Because there's a percentage to how many percent of women feel it. Here's my take on it. I think 100% of women feel postpartum depression. They just have a better mental health to combat it faster. So so i i didn't have the brain bandwidth to realize that it's my mental health that is bringing down my health. I have never been to so many clinics or hospitals than I have after giving birth. It was a bad year for my health. I had a lot of pressure to make Aste grow. I had so many failed term sheets that I was continuously doubting my ability to to do anything in life. I just felt I was good for nothing. And this might surprise you, but now that I reflect back, I feel it has a lot. I feel like the confidence is linked to a good night's sleep. I wasn't getting the rest I needed. My brain started stressing out more and more because I was not sleeping well, and I've slept well all my life. I'm somebody who would sleep like 9 hours every single day. And if I would go out when I was younger, I would party a lot. And if I would go out now, I don't like to stay up too long. So yeah, unless something is very important, somebody's birthday or wedding that you can't skip, I just say no to late night dinners and meetings and all of that. In fact, a funny story happened. I was just scheduling with someone, and she said, "Yeah, let's meet um, at 8:30 in Bandra." And I was like, "Sure, done. You mean AM, right?" And she's like, "No." I'm like, "Bro, don't say that." Anyways, so yeah, I avoid late nights. 8:30 is late. Wow. Who am I? Who am I? So yeah, so that happened. But anyways, coming back to the health, I truly understood that it was all linked to my mind's rest, because I feel the body was still somehow getting rest because I was always lying down in the bed. But it was my mind that didn't feel well rested that led to so many health problems, um, that I needed to rest my mind. I needed to, one, dissect and keep my achievements and failures away from my brain. And guys, all this is before Shark Tank, so you can get some context or understand ki not related. Um, yeah. So my mind wasn't resting, my body wasn't resting. I had so much work stress. I was just adding on to lack of sleep because of the feeds at night and all of that. And I cannot imagine, this is when I had help with my child. This is when I had help. I didn't have family support because my mom was also going through something major in her health, with her health. But yeah, anyways, it wasn't humanly possible to survive that year with the space my mind was in. I would say, I look back and say it was the worst year of my life. And sometimes I look back now after 2 years and be like, I'm glad it happened. I'm glad it happened then, when I still had control over things, than it happening now. So yeah, I'm glad I went through what I went through. I don't wish it upon my worst enemy, or what my family went through because of my mom's health. Um, but for me personally, I'm glad it happened sooner, because life is about ups and downs, and these health downs can come unannounced at any time. So for me, it was like a wake up call to understand that there is a thing beyond being fit, which is health, and which is well being, which is the fact that your mind and body is interconnected, the fact that you need to learn that, not when something bad happens, but ahead of time. If you're starting onto your health and wellness journey, you're starting onto क्या होता है, you should be healthy no matter which age you're at. You should care about your well-being. There's no other way to life. Like, I don't know, there's so much being said on the internet about the money equivalent. And Brian also says, if like, he doesn't feel uh, a lot of money is important.